Mr. President, we have a retirement crisis in this country. Today, among working families on the verge of retirement, about a third have no retirement savings of any kind, and another third have savings that are less than 1 year's annual income. Let's be blunt. Social Security alone is not enough for a secure retirement. Hitting retirement with little or no savings means spending those last years hovering around the poverty line with little or no money for important purchases like dental care or hearing aids, or extras like buying a birthday gift for a grandchild. There are a lot of different reasons that people hit retirement with no savings, but one big reason is that 55 million Americans don't have the ability to save for retirement through a workplace retirement account. For years, the Republican-controlled Congress has done nothing to help the 55 million Americans who don't have an employer-provided retirement plan save for their retirement. Nothing. So 7 states have actually stepped up. They passed legislation to provide retirement accounts to their constituents, and 23 more states are currently considering proposals like this. Massachusetts has stepped up too, passing legislation to allow workers in small nonprofit organizations to save for retirement in a state-administered plan. These state efforts are a big deal. The actions of just those first 7 states could expand coverage to 15 million Americans who currently don't have an employer-sponsored retirement account. These efforts would go a long way towards starting to chip away at the retirement crisis in our country. And both Republicans and Democrats should be applauding the efforts of the governors, the state treasurers, and the state legislatures that are doing this important work. But instead of passing legislation to incentivize states to continue their innovative work, or instead of bringing up a bill on their own encouraging companies to offer retirement accounts to their workers, Republicans are voting on a bill that would pull the rug out from underneath these state plans, jeopardizing all of the states' recent progress. Republicans are constantly saying that they are the party of federalism, deregulation, state flexibility. Over and over again for the past several months, my colleagues across the aisle have come down to the floor to overturn regulation after regulation because they claim that those regulations, quote, limit the role of state and local governments. So why on earth are they now passing a bill to run roughshod over the states? The states certainly aren't asking them to take it up. The National Conference of State Legislatures, the bipartisan organization representing the legislatures of all 50 states, sent a letter urging Congress not to pass this bill, because, quote, it will result in an unwarranted preemption of state innovation, will restrict the ability of millions of hardworking Americans to save for retirement, and will prove costly to federal and state budgets. And 23 state treasurers and top budget officials, both Democrats and Republicans, from Idaho to Mississippi, wrote urging Republican leadership to, quote, protect the rights of states and large municipalities to implement their own unique approaches to address this growing retirement savings crisis. Nope. The state legislatures didn't ask the Republican Congress for this bill, and the American people are certainly not calling their senators, asking that they overturn the rules that it would help them save for their retirement either. 72% of Republicans and 83% of Democrats support the work that the states are doing. So if it's not the state legislators, and it's not the state regulators, and it's not the American people who want this bill passed, why are Republicans pushing it forward? Why are we voting on this legislation? 4 words: National Chamber of Commerce. The National Chamber of Commerce has been fighting tooth and nail to kill these retirement initiatives. Their armies of lobbyists are swarming over Capitol Hill. They are peddling misinformation about what these plans do, all because the giant financial firms that pump money into the National Chamber of Commerce are worried that these state plans will offer better investment products with lower fees for customers. Yeah, the giant financial firms are right to be worried. States probably won't award investment contracts to the companies with the highest fees or to the companies offering kickbacks and prizes to make the sale. They're going to award contracts to companies that can provide the best product at the lowest cost. That is how a competitive bidding process works. But the financial firms hiding behind the Chamber of Commerce don't want competitive bidding. They don't want transparency. They don't want to fight on a level playing field. And they are willing to spend a whole lot of money to make sure that they don't have to. In fact, the Chamber is so serious about keeping the system rigged that they've sent letter after letter to every member of Congress and their staffs, letting them know that they are watching this vote. And just in case you can't read between the lines, for extra emphasis in bold and underlined typeface, their letters warned that they will be considering votes on or in relation to this resolution in our annual How They Voted scorecard. Whoa. The Chamber of Commerce is going to score who votes to help the big financial corporations and who doesn't, and they are going to make sure that all those potential campaign contributors know about the vote. You know, this is what gives Washington such a terrible reputation. The American people didn't send us here to work for giant financial institutions and their armies of lobbyists and lawyers. And I don't care what kind of threats the Chamber of Commerce puts out, it is wrong to pass a law to kick people in the teeth when they're trying to save for their retirement. The lobbyists may be watching this vote, but the American people are watching too, and they are ready to fight back.